Guys, check out this absolutely stunning Yamaha TY175. A pristine frame-up concourse restoration on a low-mile, 1,515 miles original that was mostly trail-ridden. There's no evidence of any hard, real trials action like if Billy Blythe, four-time resident New England trials champion, including winning the 50-plus class last year, right? Was that last year? Yep. So also Isle of Man veteran. So we're going to have him do the riding demo because he's an expert at riding trials bikes. But if he, so don't do any big stunts on it because it's real nice. We don't want you jumping off the loading dock right on them, Billy.
No scrapes, no scratches.
Yeah, this one is, we'll just show you how it runs. This one is as close to brand new as you could ever find a 50-year-old motorcycle, starting with the brand new tires. The spokes on there look to be brand new. I don't know if those are the original or just, or a brand new set. This was from the Chip Watkins collection, and all the Chip's bikes, if they're not concourse level when he gets them, they are when he sells them. So I've seen him take literally bikes that other people had restored and restored them to his standard. And this one's beautifully done. The fork lowers are polished. The chrome fork uppers is mint. The lower triple clamp's been polished. The upper's been polished. All the hardware is either brand new or NOS restored. Magura clutch cover and lever, all new cables, matching Ori grips, new chrome bars, a beautiful paint job laid down on the original tank. The saddle appears to be new, but there's a couple of nicks in the back of it. I don't know if those happened during riding or when it was mounted. I'm not really sure. There's maybe 3 miles on the restoration, so I can't figure that out. But there is a crack in the fender right here I wanted to point out too. The shocks appear to be brand new. I don't know if those are reproductions or just original mint ones. The exhaust system's been repainted. The cylinder's been repainted. You can see the gaskets on the engine are all brand new. Evidence of a full frame off restoration. Clearly right in front of you, the frame's beautifully painted in the original silver. All the graphics and decals are brand new. Pegs, shifters, levers, all the running gear is new. Brand new chain and sprockets to go with the new tires. You can see the grease fitting for the swing arm, freshly greased axle bearings. No bolt left unturned restoration on a low mile original, which is pretty much par for the course of most of Chip's collections. He's the CEO of Watkins Motor Freight, so when he decides he wants to get a bike, he either creates it into being the best in the category or he finds the best in its category. He's focusing on Hondas now, just doing Hondas. So if you have a 93 CR250, we're on the hunt for one for him. He wants a pristine 93 for his collection, but he's letting some of his other diamonds go to make room for the Hondas because he only has so much room in his private museum that he has. I've done videos at his museum. You may have seen some of them. It's spectacular motorcycles and cars there. So without further ado, Billy, could you fire this bad boy up and show us, run it through its paces and show us?
Well, sure, if I have to.
Yeah, won't have to ask you twice, right?
What a gem. Super lightweight. It's about 180, 185 pounds, somewhere in there. There's a little sequence to this. Turn the gas on.
There's always a routine.
Yeah, she's warmed up. I rode her already.
You know, they say you have to go slow to learn how to go fast. And Billy started out as a trials guy and then went on to become a successful New England road racer, including a 5-time Isle of Man competitor, which is pretty much the pinnacle of road racing. Just to qualify for that, you've got to have a pretty healthy resume. I would say the Isle of Man is like it's kind of like the Boston Marathon of road racing. Trials is a game of balance and of not putting your feet down. That's the whole idea with a trials bike. And it's a good workout too. You're supposed to stand up most of the time, although you can sit down if you want to trail ride on it or putt around. I've seen Billy drive right over his car without smashing the wheels at it, the windows out of it, over the front bumper, over the hood, and down the backside. Little 2-stroke, 175, so it's going to have plenty of power. And they run forever, and they're pretty much bulletproof. Love the red and white color combo, my favorite Yamaha color. I often think of that as the European colors or Canadian colors, because most of the ones in the US were black and yellow. But just a beautiful, beautiful motorcycle. idles beautifully. What do you think, Billy?
What a gem. This thing is perfectly sorted. These were a great bike to begin with, Ken. You know, perfectly built, lightweight, I think around 100 to 185 pounds. And they suited everyone well that rode them. You could be a novice, a beginner. Some of the women riders rode these, and they were very successful. But top pros would ride them too, because they bridged the gap between lightweight and full-size bog wheelers, they called them back in the day. I'm kind of breathing hard. It's
a good workout, isn't it?
Yeah, a little excitement, you know.
Last winter when you were training, you'd come in covered in sweat, and it's below freezing outside.
That's right.
Not usually a good combination, but in literally 20 minutes of riding a trials bike is a good workout, isn't it?
It sure is a good workout. Absolutely. It's not a real dynamic exercise, but it's good for stretching. It's good for physical fitness, legs, thighs, knees. Everything works better after riding a trials bike.
And the muscle between your ears, I think, works better too. It's like almost like therapy or meditation. I would like to think of it as.
It is. It's not a real violent sport, but it can be if you get out of control with it. There's, if you want to try something a little too big or a little too dangerous, you could get in trouble. But for the most part, it's a mental sport, and it helps with your physical fitness for sure.
I've seen you ride down the steepest set of stairs in the whole mill here, and at the bottom there's no room for error. There's like 4 foot, and then there's a concrete wall, and it goes down 20 feet down the other side. So sketchy thing to try to do. I saw you do that I think on your gas gas.
Yes, yeah, and it's easy to get in over your head going down big things or even up big things.
And I've seen you ride over your car. I was saying when you're without breaking the window, which I think shows some control there. But
for sure. But a beautiful TY175. These are hard to find because they're much in demand these days for classic trials. And you could take this to the campground. It's so whisper quiet. I mean, it's one of those bikes that's happy everywhere it goes. I know a guy named Rascal, his nickname. He built one of these, and he put on special shocks and upgraded the cylinder a little bit, made it into a performance bike, and he could do anything with it that a lot of the things that the modern riders could do with their modern bikes.
And that engine is a bulletproof, distant or close cousin actually to the DT, which could have been used on streets and off-road, and the lineage is from the DT, right? Super
versatile engine. It's got a different gear ratio in it. The first 3 gears are very low, as I'm sure you could see as I was riding around here. And then the higher gears are much wider. That's for fast use on trails or on streets. But that bottom end is the same, and the cylinder porting is the same. It's just got low compression and a small carburetor, which helps it run beautifully in the low ranges. Yeah, it's a bulletproof design, lasts forever. Heavier flywheel on this one too to help it maintain momentum over obstacles, as that's for riding back in the 70s, really.
I'd say definitely the cleanest one we've had. We've had a couple TY250s that have rivaled this. We've had some real diamonds.
Yes.
And in fact, we have a TY350, which will be our next challenge. We got that coming down the pike.
For sure. This one here appeals to me. I think it was Debbie Evans that rode one of these to great success. I think she rode one in the Scottish 6-day trial. An American rider from California, became a stunt woman, and a wonderful person. She had a skill that no one else could do on a trials bike. She could ride it up and stop it in balance in the dirt, and climb off the bike while still in balance, not touching the ground, and do a headstand and let go with her hands. And then climb back on the bike and ride it away without ever touching a foot down.
A headstand on the motorcycle?
Headstand, yep, on the seat. Yep, without holding on with her hands.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah,
I mean, I can't do a headstand on the ground, let alone on a motorcycle, like ever. Not going to happen.
she had such great balance and great form on the bike. She made one of these really
like an Olympic level athlete.
She was right there. Yeah, and she became a famous stunt woman. But her career in fame started on a little TY175.
Well, we started off saying you got to go learn. John Dowd and a lot of other pros have said to me, you got to learn how to go slow before you can go fast.
That's true.
And if you can master the balance and the art on this, and then you took it to the other end of the extreme, the Isle of Man, where you're doing 180 miles an hour.
With your hair on fire.
2 inches away from stone walls, which is completely insane.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you've ever seen the videos of Isle of Man. Google them. It'll blow your mind. It's on my bucket list to go there.
Right on. Get it up on the to-do list. Yeah, learning how to ride trials helps form your riding skills. It gives you that intuition where you don't really have to think about what you're doing. You're practicing the basics over and over and over again, and it crosses over to enduros, to motocross, to road race, and street riding.
And for an older dude like me who's 60, you can get a killer workout, and you're probably less likely to mangle yourself than you are trying to huck the double or the triple at every motocross track. All the kids these days are doing these massive jumps. They didn't even have, you know, double jumps or triple jumps when I was a kid, you know, back in the 70s.
Thank God.
The first double jump was 1974 or 5 at the Super Bowl of motocross. Jimmy Ellis put 2 jumps together, and they started a trend. He won the national championship that year for Can-Am.
Can-Am, yeah.
But then it became a
Local
thing. Now they have these man-made jumps that are 100 feet apart, and you got 10-year-old kids on 85s, you know, hucking them. So the sport's come to another level. This is something you can get on, and you don't have to huck the triple to have fun, you know. So
that's right. You can ride it around your yard. In fact, I learned how to ride trials in my parents' backyard in a neighborhood on a hill. And I just kept doing the same things over and over again, but I practiced and practiced and practiced, and it made me become a, you know, top-level trials rider.
Well, thank you for your input, Bill. And guys, stay tuned for the TY350 twin to this one coming up pretty soon. Both diamonds. They should be on eBay. Probably be about, this weekend they'll probably be on eBay. So stay tuned. If you have any questions, give us a call. They're going up for auction. Thanks for watching, and God bless America.